a very good afternoon and welcome to Eswatini TV. My name is Lerato Mabilisa, and as always, I am not alone. I am with my colleague Nogwazi Dlamini, and today we are going to have a jam-packed day as always. A very good afternoon and welcome, Nogwazi.
Good afternoon, Lerato, and good afternoon to the viewers, and welcome to Home Study. Like Lerato has said, actually, it's going to be a jam-packed, as always, jam-packed show. A lot of learning to do. How are you doing today, Lerato?
I'm feeling good. Hey, please can you give us today's timetable?
All right, so today's timetable looks a little bit like this. Grade 7s, Form 3s, and Form 5s. We hope that you are ready for today's lessons. From now at 2 p.m. until 2:30 p.m., we have mathematics for grade 7. From 2:30 p.m. until 3:08 p.m., we have English language for Form 3. From 3:08 p.m. until 3:45 p.m., we have mathematics for Form 3. From 3:45 p.m. until 4:25 p.m., we have English language for Form 5. Then the last lesson for the day, from 4:25 p.m. until 5 p.m., we have Siswati for Form 5. Anything you want to say about our social media platforms, Lerato?
As always, we have YouTube and Facebook where we're live from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And from that time, we are also live on your screens. And we also have a WhatsApp number which pops up from time to time on your screens during lessons.
Yes, that is true. And just to emphasize on the WhatsApp number, please do not call us. Kindly text us any questions that you might have. Now remember, guys, these days we're starting the show off with a bang with fun facts, and my fun fact for the day is the most popular favorite number is 7. Now you might want to ask yourself why 7 is the most popular favorite number. Well, 7 is arithmetically unique, and it also shows up a lot in human culture. Well, we have 7 deadly sins. We have 7 wonders of the world. We have 7 colors of the rainbow. We have 7 pillars of wisdom. We have 7 seas. We have 7 dwarfs, obviously. And of course, we have 7 days of the week.
Speaking of 7 dwarfs, you remind me of those 7 dwarfs.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, guys, I also have a fun fact, and mine says there is one cheetah supermom who is known to have mothered at least 10% of all adult cheetahs in the southern Serengeti. It's very interesting.
Very, very interesting facts indeed. Without wasting any time, brace yourself for more trivia questions that we will have for you. Lerato will be right back with the mathematics grade 7 teacher, Mbongiseni Shabangu. We'll be back after this.
Hi, my name is Professor Shabang. I am an actor and a TV presenter. Coronavirus is a deadly virus, an invincible enemy killing people all over the world. We are not exempted, but together we can walk through and overcome as a nation. All we need to do is to follow the health precautions. Stay at home, stop the spread, and save lives.
In the Kingdom of Eswatini, we learn from home because of the COVID-19 pandemic, through social media platforms and television. The government provides us with subjects and teachers of grade 7, Form 3 and Form 5. Watch Home Study on channel 286 on DSTV or channel 02 on Ginger. Or else watch live on Eswatini TV YouTube channel.
A very warm welcome back. If you've just tuned in, you are watching Home Study and you are right on time, especially if you are doing grade 7. My name is Lirato Mabelisa and joining me in studio are our sign language interpreters Linda Mamba and Tobile Fagute. Also joining me in studio is the grade 7 teacher, Mr. Sikumbuzo. Mr. Sikumbuzo?
Mongseni Shabangu.
Oh, okay, Mr. Mongseni Shabangu. Good afternoon and welcome, sir.
Afternoon, Lerato.
How are you feeling today?
No, I'm good, sister.
Okay, so what is today's topic and what is the importance of today's topic?
Today's topic is about the order or commutative property and the grouping or associative property. Knowing about order and associative of operations helps in fast calculations of cases such as total cost of transporting or feeding a group of students during a school trip. So at the end of the lesson, I'm expecting people to be able to use the commutative property for addition and multiplication, also to identify basic operations that are associative, also to illustrate and use grouping associative property of addition, and illustrate and use the grouping property of multiplication.
Okay, so grade 7s, I hope that you heard that and I hope that you are ready for a fantastic lesson with Mr. Shabang.
Yes.
Okay, grade 7s, get your materials ready. Mr. Shabangu, you may begin your lesson.
Afternoon, dear learners at home. Our today's topic is about the order or commutative property and the grouping or associative property. And before we start our lesson, let us check on our vocabulary, the new words that we have in this lesson. We have commutative, means the order does not matter. Also, we have associative, means the grouping does not affect the result. In mathematics, we have 4 basic operations. These are addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Now, dear learners at home, let us recap on how to deal with the 4 operations that we have in mathematics. In A, we have 5 subtract 3, which is equal to 2. And the answer we get after subtraction, we call it what? A difference. B, we have 4 plus 4, which is equal to 8. And the answer we get after addition, we call it a sum or a total. In C, we have 6 multiplied by 2. And the answer is equal to 12. And the answer we get after multiplication, we call it a product. D, we have 9 divided by 3. And 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. And the answer we get after division, we call it a quotient. Now, let us get back to our topics for today, dear grade 7 learners at home. The order or commutative property. Now, when we are talking about the order or commutative property, is used to determine whether the order in which the numbers are written does not affect the answer when carrying out an operation. So the commutative property rule is used to determine whether the order in which the numbers are written does not affect the answer when carrying out an operation. Now, let us make an example by working out the sum. In A, we have 3 plus 4, and B, we have 4 plus 3. If you can see, this number sentence, they look different, but they are the same. The order is different because in A they started with 3, while in B they started with 4. So when we say 3 plus 4, it is equal to 7. So in B, when you start with the 4, whereby you are going to say 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Here is my question, dear learners at home. What do you observe about the answers? The answers are the same. So the order in which the numbers are added does not change the sum. So we can conclude that addition is commutative. That is why the total number of the people in a classroom is not affected whether you have started with boys or girls. When adding, the number remains the same. Now, dear learners at home, let us check if multiplication is commutative through working out the product. Here, our number sentence A is 3 multiplied by 2, and B is 2 multiplied by 3. In A, they have started with 3, while in B, they started with 2. But it looks different if you look at the order, the way the numbers are written. So, let us deal with A. When we say 3 multiplied by 2, the answer is 6. And when we say in B, 2 multiplied by 3, the answer is 6. So, dear learners at home, what do you observe about the answers? The answers are the same, only the order, the order in which the numbers are written. Hence, in A, they started with 3, and in B, they started with 2. So, when multiplying two numbers, the order in which they are multiplied has no effect on the final answer. Hence, we conclude that multiplication is commutative. Now, we have two operations that are commutative, which is addition and multiplication. So, let us find out if subtraction is commutative or not. Now, here is 3 is 4 subtract 3 equal to 3 subtract 4. This is the question. Is 4 subtract 3 is equal to 3 subtract 4? How will you be able to find this answer? We need to work out the difference using a number line. So, we are going to use a number line to solve this problem. 4 subtract 3. We are going to have a number line. Here is our number line. So, what is 4 subtract 3 using the number line? We are going to start here at 4. And then you are going to count 3 backwards, where we are going to say 1, 2, 3. And then it means 4 subtract 3, it will go like this. 4 subtract 3. So our answer is equal to 1. When we say 4 subtract 3, it is equal to 1. Now, let us do 3 subtract 4. 3 subtract 4 through using the number line. We are going to start here at 3, sorry. So we are going to count from 3, 4 backwards. So we are going to say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is here. So the arrow does not fall at the same point. as in the first example. You remember that in the first example, the arrow falls in 1. So 4 subtract 3 is equal to 1. But 3 subtract 4 is equal to a number that is less than 0, which is a negative number. You are going to learn more about negative numbers when you reach high school. So we can conclude that subtraction is not commutative. Subtraction is not commutative. Now, let us check if division is commutative by working out the quotients. Now, here our number sentence. In A, we have 10 divided by 2, while in B, we have 2 divided by 10. These number sentences are the same, while the only difference is the order in which they are written. Because in A, they have said 10 divided by 2, while in B, it is 2 divided by 10. Now, let us work out 10 divided by 2. When you say 10 divided by 2, our answer is 5. So, our answer for A, it is 5. And then B, we have 2 divided by 10. When we divide 2 by 10, you are going to have 2 over 10, which is a common fraction. So you know that a common fraction needs to be simplified. So there is a number that goes to the numerator and the denominator without leaving the remainder, which is 2. So when we divide the numerator by 2, we are going to say 2 divided by 2, the answer is 1. And when you're dividing the denominator, we are going to say 10 divided by 2, and the answer is 5. So our answer is equal to 1 over 5. So the answers are not the same. So division is not commutative. Now, we have got only 2 operations that are commutative, which is addition and multiplication, while division and subtraction is not commutative. Now, let us move on the grouping or associative property. The associative property deals with 3 or more numbers, while the commutative, it deals with only 2 numbers. And they may be grouped without changing. They may be grouped without changing the answer. So the associative property deals with 3 or 4 numbers, and they may be grouped without changing the answer. When there is one operation performed between 3 numbers, if the result of the first grouping, any 2, is the same as grouping the last 2 numbers, then we say that operation is associative. Let me give you an example. We have an example here: 4 plus 5 plus 6. If you can see, there are 3 numbers here in this number sentence. We have got 4, 5, and 6. But when we are talking about grouping, when numbers are grouped, we simply add these brackets. These brackets. That is why we say the number is grouped. Whereby here in this number sentence, 5 plus 6 is grouped together. So now we are going to work out addition to find out if addition is associative or not. Here is an example. Let us do the working. In A, our number sentence is 5 plus 4 plus 2. Even in B, we have 5 plus 4 plus 2. The only difference between these number sentence, it is the way the numbers are grouped. If you can see at A, they grouped 5 and 4. And in B, they grouped 4 plus 2. So, now, dear learners at home, let us work A, whereby we are going to start with what is inside the brackets. So, in A, we have 5 plus 4 plus 2. And 5 plus 4 is grouped together. So, now, we are going to deal with 5 plus 4. When we say 5 plus 4, our answer is 9. And our second step will be 9 plus 2. 9 plus 2 is equal to 11. So we are correct here. And then let us go to B. In B, we have the same number sentence, which is 5 plus 4 plus 2. The only difference here, 4 plus 2 is grouped together. So we are going to deal with 4 plus 2 together first before we do the rest of the calculation. So we are going to first deal with what is inside the brackets. Now, when we say 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. You will agree with me, dear learners at home. And then our second step will be written as 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6 is equal to 11. Yes? Here is my question, dear learners at home. What do you observe about the answers? Yeah? They are the same. So, in addition, any two numbers may be grouped first before adding them to the other third number. The grouping arrangement has no effect on the sum. So, addition is associative. Why? Because in A, we got 11 as our answer. Even in B, we got 11 as our answer. So, that is why we can conclude that addition is associative. Okay, now, dear learners at home, let us move on and check on multiplication. What about and work out the following and compare them? Here is our number sentence is 4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3. Or you can say 4 times 5 times 3. And even in B, we are going to have the same number sentence, which is 4 times 5 times 3. The only difference here that we are going to have, we are going to group the numbers together. So in A, we are going to group 4 multiplied by 5. While in B, we are going to group 5 multiplied by 3. So when carrying out this operation, we know that in mathematics, when dealing out with operations, we need to start by what is inside the brackets. Here, let's start with A. We have 4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3. And 4 multiplied by 5 is grouped together inside brackets. So we are going to deal with 4 multiplied by 5 first. Hence, it is inside the bracket. When we say 4 multiplied by 5, our answer is 20. So, and then our second step will be written as 20 multiplied by 3. 20 multiplied by 3. What is 20 multiplied by 3, dear learners at home? 20 multiplied by 3 is equal to 60. Now, let us move on to B, whereby we have 5 we have 4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3. And 5 multiplied by 3 is grouped together inside brackets. Here in mathematics, we need to do first what is inside the bracket. So we are going to say 5 multiplied by 3. When we say 5 multiplied by 3, the answer is 15. The answer is 15. Sorry. The answer is 15. Yes. Now our second step will be 4 multiplied by 15. When we multiply 4 by 15, our answer will be 60. So, dear learners at home, what do you observe about the answers? The answers in A, we have 60, even in B, we have 60. So, it is clear that they are the same. Meaning that multiplication is associative. Multiplication is associative. Whether you change, you group different numbers, but if the number sentence is the same, you will get one and the same answer. Now, let us move on to find out if subtraction is associative. We are going to do some certain number sentence or calculations. Here in A, we have got 10 subtract 5 subtract 3. Even in B, we are going to have the same number sentence, which is 10 subtract 5 subtract 3. Yeah, let us go to A. The only difference that we have in A and B, it is the grouping. In A, they group 5 subtract 3, while in B, they group 10 subtract 5. Now, let us work out A. When we say 10 subtract 5 subtract 3, whereby 5 subtract 3 is grouped together, we are going to start by working out with what is inside the brackets. So, we are going to say 5 subtract 3, that is equal to 2. And our second step, 10 subtract 2 is equal to 8. So our answer, it seems like you have a question.
So I think that we should take an informational break and then we'll be back after the break.
Thank you, Sister
Okay.
Elato.
Kids, wash your hands so you can come in and have lunch.
Okay, Mom.
Tabo, apply some soap. You shouldn't just use water only.
But my hands aren't dirty, Nolwazi.
Just because your hands don't look dirty doesn't mean they're clean. We need to wash our hands regularly with soap and running water for at least 20 seconds, just like teacher taught us, so that all virus-causing germs and bacteria are washed away.
Tabo, listen to your sister, baby. It's important to always wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Like right now before we eat, after using the toilet, after touching animals, or after changing a nappy. We must also clean our surfaces and toilet seats with disinfectant.
Guys, it's time to wash our hands. Wash our hands. Wash our hands. Dirt and germs don't stand a chance. Germs bye-bye. First the water, then the soap. And you scrub all your palms. Scrub your fingers till they're clean. Rinse and dry.
Guys, I'm home.
Welcome back, honey.
This is your 1 p.m. news update brought to you by Victor Silombo. In the news today, we'll speak a little bit more about COVID-19, a disease that's infectious and causing problems all over the world. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by the coronavirus. The disease can spread from person to person through small droplets from the nose or mouth, which are spread when a person with COVID-19 coughs or exhales. These droplets land on objects and surfaces around the person, and other people then catch COVID-19 by touching these objects and surfaces, then touching their eyes, nose, or mouth. Here's a few simple precautions that you can follow to reduce your chances of being infected or spreading COVID-19. Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Cover your mouth and nose with your flexed elbow or use a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Then dispose of that used tissue immediately in a dustbin. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Maintain a social distance of at least 1 meter between yourself and everyone else. Drink copious amounts of water to make sure your body is hydrated. And remember, if you develop a fever, a cough, or have difficulty breathing, call 977. Stay safe. Stay home.
Kids, I hope you are listening carefully. It's very important that we take these precautions very seriously so we all avoid catching or spreading COVID-19. So, we must stay home for our safety. Okay?
Yes, Dad.
We're back from the informational break, and it seems like you have questions from the viewers, sir. The first one says, what does the word commutative mean? And then, what does the word associative mean?
When we are talking about commutative, it means the order in which the numbers are written does not affect the answer. Whereby we have said 4 multiplied by 2 is equal to 8. Even if you can say 2 multiplied by 4 is equal to 8. So the answers are the same. So when we are talking about associative property, it deals with 3 or more numbers, and they may be grouped without changing their answer.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I hope that the grade 7s heard that, so you can continue with your lesson.
Okay, welcome back, dear grade 7 learners at home. Now let us continue with associative property, whereby we are going to find out if division is associative or not. Here is 20 divided by 10 divided by 2 equal to 20 divided by 10 divided by 2. Now, here is the number sentence. When we say 20 divided by 10 divided by 2, whereby we group 10 divided by 2, we are going to start with what is inside the bracket. So, we are going to say 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5. And our second step will be 20 divided by 5, which is 4. And then in B, we are going to say we have 20 divided by 10 divided by 2. And 20 divided by 10 is grouped together. So we are going to deal with what is inside the bracket first. So we are going to say 20 divided by 10. That is 2. 20 divided by 10. So our second step will be 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. The answers are not the same. The answers are not the same. So division is not associative. Now we can conclude that addition and multiplication are associative, while division and subtraction are not associative. Dear learners at home, now here is the work that you are going to do it for me, and you are going to get the feedback when we come, and we can conclude that commutative property, it states that the order in which the numbers are written during the operation does not matter. You can change the position of the items in the number sentence, but you will arrive at the same sum. In multiplication, you will still arrive at the same product. So, in associative property, it states that you can add or multiply regardless of how the numbers are grouped and still arrive the same sum and product. Dear learners at home, for more practice, you can open your Mathematics People's Book on page 52 up to page 55. I hope you got everything during this lesson. I hope everything is okay.
Yes, everything's okay, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you to you, viewer, for watching. Up next is the Form 3 lessons, so I hope that Form 3s you are ready. Up next is Nogwazi Lamini, who is going to be presenting the next Form 3 subject.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yo.
COVID-19, yes, the coronavirus. It is now our daily talk. It is now our everyday breaking news. I think it's high time we all come together and make sure we bring an end to this. Cause we can't sit down while it's still taking over. Let's all follow all the precautions given by the health department so that we can protect ourselves and also protect others. I just wash my hands before I touch. I just close my mouth before I cough. And I just close my mouth before I sneeze. And I don't go to parties, that's a risk, yeah. I see. I wash my hands before I touch. I see. I close my mouth before I cough. I see. I close my mouth before I sneeze. I see. I don't go to parties, that's a risk. I see. People going through a lot. I see. Coronavirus is a threat. I see. I don't go to parties, that's a risk. I see. I close my mouth before I cough. In case you're wondering, just wash your hands in case you handle things, and then keep an eye if you sneeze or cough. Gotta keep it covered. I mean, who am I? Just a person living. Wanna see you living, cause I value life. Eswatini, raise up, we gon' fight and conquer, cause we really got this. I see. I wash my hands before I touch. I see. I close my mouth before I cough. I see. I close my mouth before I sneeze. I see. I don't go to parties, that's a risk. Believe that some of the people you know can never be trusted at all. You gotta be cautious. Wash your hands more often, can trust everything that we touch. And when you sneeze, you gotta make sure you cover your mouth, but not with your hands, cause you do not know who you gonna touch or what you have touched before all of that. Avoid meeting up with too many people for your own good and everyone else. You gotta make sure you keep it all clean. Watch how you maneuver, look after yourself. A hand sanitizer won't kill you. Make sure that you use running water. Just think of our brothers and sisters in the country and the ones that are outside the borders. Yeah. I see. I wash my hands before I touch. I see. I close my mouth before I cough. I see. I close my mouth before I sneeze. I see. I don't go to parties, that's a risk. Let's all come together and all say, not today, coronavirus.
Hi viewers at home, my name is Professor Shabang. I am the presenter for your favorite health program, Better Health, Better Life. Thank you viewers at home for the calls and the messages, and thank you Eswatini TV for the great platform. Better Health, Better Life Season 4 is coming bigger and better. And now you have a chance to participate by sending a video of your view prior to the next program. On that note, we are appealing to all Eswatini, please stay at home, stop the spread so that we can save lives.
Wash your hands. Scrub it while you sing the song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash wash your hands. Make sure you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Still tuned into Eswatini TV, and this is Home Study. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini, and at this moment we are doing English for Form 3, and already joining me in the studio is the English language teacher for Form 3, Deli Dlamini. Also joining me in the studio are our sign language interpreters, Zanele Mota and Nombumelelo Hadebe. Deli, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm feeling great, Nogwazi. Thank you so much. And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, actually. Yes, thank you very much for asking. Deli, I understand that today we're doing discursive composition, right?
Yes.
So what do you expect your learner to have learnt by the end of this lesson?
For starters, I expect them to know what a discursive composition is, how to write it, and to write it.
Okay.
And when they write it, I expect them to communicate appropriately, clearly, and accurately.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Deli. I hope the Form 3s are ready. And just to remind our viewers that we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you have any questions, please feel free to text us on our WhatsApp number. Deli, you may start your lesson.
Thank you so much. Okay. I'll start with the lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, learners should be able to, first of all, use language and register appropriate to the given context and audience. I expect them to also be able to order and present ideas and opinions in a coherent manner. They are also expected to observe conventions of paragraphing, which is very important. And most of all, I expect them to communicate clearly, accurately, and appropriately. Okay? The starting point is knowing what is a discursive composition. There are 2 ways of pronouncing it and 2 ways of writing it. You may come across the spelling discursive or discursive. They mean one and the same thing. I feel like I should make that clear from the onset. What is a discursive composition? It is an essay that simply states the advantages and disadvantages of a given motion, statement, or topic. This piece of writing explores a given topic by looking at it from 2 points of views. You look at both sides of the coin. You look at the pros, you look at the cons, you look at the merits, you look at the demerits, you look at the positive aspect, and you also look at the negative aspect. What is explored in a discursive composition are facts and not opinions. What is the difference between the two? A fact, my dear learner at home, is something that is known to be true and can be proven. Whereas an opinion is something that people believe but cannot be proven to be true. Often an opinion is a statement of a person's values. I hope that is clear. Usually you find that learners and people in general have misconception between a discursive and an argumentative composition. I think that I should start by distinguishing the two. In a discursive composition, you discuss. To discuss is to talk about something. You discuss a topic or a subject without necessarily taking a stand. In other words, the topic may not be controversial. What do I mean by controversial? I mean that the topic may be subject to a debate. On the other hand, for argumentative writing, the topic is always controversial, which means it is subject to a debate. This means that you have to take a definite viewpoint and do your best to support and prove that your point is correct or that your opinion is the most convincing one in your composition. How is a discursive composition written? In order to best answer this question, it is important to touch on the structure of a discursive composition. A discursive essay has the following components. It has an introduction. That's the starting point. In the introduction, what are you expected to do? You are expected to clearly state the topic, or define the key terms in the topic or motion, or give the background information relevant to the given motion or statement. This is what you are expected to do in the introduction. A discursive composition also has a body. In the body, you have to discuss. You discuss in detail the advantages and disadvantages of the given topic, statement, or motion. In each paragraph, start with what we call a topic sentence. The topic sentence is the main idea. Each paragraph should have one main idea, which should be supported with what? Relevant ideas, facts, statistics, evidence, examples, opinions, and reasons. This is what goes on in one paragraph. This is what you are supposed to do. You start with the topic sentence and you support that topic sentence with facts, statistics, and evidence. In the same paragraph, you are expected to use linking devices to connect your paragraphs into one meaningful whole. Linking devices, for example, such as, firstly, when you are stating your first point. Secondly, when you are moving to your second point. Moreover, when you are moving to another point. However, or on the other hand, when you are now moving on to discuss the disadvantages, if you were discussing the advantages, you move on to discuss the disadvantages. You use the cohesive device or the linking device, however, or on the other hand. And another way in which you can connect your paragraph is by using furthermore. And when you are stating your last point, you say last but not least. And when you are concluding your essay or your composition, you use the linking device in conclusion. There should be unity. This is very key, my dear learners at home. There should be unity between sentences and between paragraphs. A composition, a discursive composition, also has a conclusion. In the conclusion, you have to summarize your discussion on the what? We're doing the advantages and the disadvantages of the given topic, statement, or motion. It is important to have a good command of the English language and try to avoid being monotonous by using the word advantage throughout your essay, but use synonyms like merit, pro, good, or positive aspect. For disadvantage, you can substitute that word with demerit, con, bad, or negative aspect. These words have related meaning and can be used interchangeably. I hope you are following, my dear learner. Moving on now, let us look at the key points to note when you are writing a discursive or a discursive essay. The starting point is to do the question analysis. The question analysis is the starting point. Make sure that you analyze the key words in the question so that you get to understand what the question requires you to do. Write in a formal or in personal style. Remember, when you are writing here, you are not writing to your mother, you are not writing to your friend. So you do not use informal language. You use formal language. You do not use slang. You don't use contractions. What do I mean by contractions? I mean whereby you find that a learner says haven't or am, but you write in full, I have not, or you say I am. And you are not supposed to use abbreviation. Don't say ad for advertisement, but you write the word in full. Remember to introduce each point in a separate paragraph. Use one topic sentence for each paragraph. Give valid reasons and examples for each point. You are supposed to give facts here. Use sequencing. I said this and I can never overemphasize such. Use words and phrases like first and foremost, secondly, moreover, furthermore, however, over and above that. In addition, last but not least, in conclusion. These linking devices make your essay to be one meaningful whole. They create logic and make your composition to make sense to the reader. Now let us put theory into practice. You know the English saying, practice makes perfect. I have a question here. Digital communication is a blessing. Discuss. There is this word, discuss. How do I know that this is a discursive composition? The instruction there says discuss. The command word says discuss. The starting point is doing an analysis of the question, like I've said. The key words in the above statement are digital communication and blessing. So we need to find out the meaning of these two words in order to get a better understanding of the statement. I look up the meaning of digital communication from your book, my dear learner, New Language for Life, Book 2, the learner's textbook. It says that digital communication is communication using devices such as computers, smartphones, laptop, tablets, and other gadgets. And a blessing is something that is good or helpful. An antonym of blessing is curse. A curse is something that causes harm or evil. We are doing the question analysis here in order to get a better understanding of what the question requires us to do. Let us look at the vocabulary related to digital communication in order to be what? Knowledgeable on the topic. These are words and phrases that are related to digital communication and social media, and I sourced them from New Language for Life, the prescribed textbook, which on page 24 to 26. These are special words and phrases which indicate that as a writer, you know something about the topic or the subject matter. These words go to your word bank or your language bank. In your textbook, they are highlighted as word power. Let us interrogate them. We have at the click of a button, at the comfort of your home, identity theft, hacking, hackers. We also have followers. We have profile. We have download. We have viral. We have website. We have tag as a verb, not as a noun. We also have users. We have comment. We have upload. We have virus, we have email, we have cyberbullying. Okay? Moving on. We also have password. We have friends. We have likes. Not in the verb form, but in the noun form. We have catfishing. We have e-learning. We have online shopping. We have addict. we have addiction, we have post. All these are the words that give you what? The knowledge. It gives you the skill to be knowledgeable when you are writing about digital communication or social media. It is very important to work out the meanings of these words. It's very important. So that you can use them appropriately when the need arises. Let us now move on to look at the advantages and disadvantages of communication. You do this in the what? The planning and brainstorming stage. When I looked at the information that was in New Language for Life, this is what I came up with based on the advantages and disadvantages of digital communication. We'll start with the advantages. I found that it allows people to participate in many social networks. It has made life easy and fast. It has changed our world and how we communicate. It is a cheaper way of communicating. These are our points, and they come in the form when you now write your essay. They are the topic sentences. You need to develop it. This is just the framework. It's a skeleton. Moving on to the disadvantages. It can be destructive and addictive. It can expose children to inappropriate or explicit content. It can promote antisocial behavior. It can lead to harmful medical side effects such as fatigue, which is exhaustion, insomnia, lack of sleep, and eyesight problems. These are our points. This is what is going to be in our essay. Okay, here is a sample of a discursive composition that I came up with. Remember, I said that a discursive composition has an introduction, and here is our introduction. Digital communication is communication using devices such as computers, smartphones, laptops, tablets, and other gadgets. It is communication that allows people to participate in many social networks. Digital communication can be said to be both a blessing and a what? A curse. Remember that in a discursive composition, you are looking at the positive aspect and the negative aspect. And this is the phrase that I'm using to say that it has advantages and it also has disadvantages. I've used blessing and a curse. And I said that in the introduction, you also give what? You define the keywords. I've defined digital communication there. First and foremost, digital communication can be said to be a blessing because it has made life extremely easy and fast. Remember, I said you connect. There should be a connection between your paragraphs. And I've used the cohesive device or the linking device. First and foremost, I am stating my what? My first point. And it comes in the form of what I called a topic sentence there. Now I am going to develop my topic sentence. Nowadays, one can buy and sell goods or product at the click of a button. This is very convenient as people can use the internet to shop online, and they can do all this at the comfort of their homes. Statistics indicate that 80% of people who use digital means to communicate get more done in 24 hours than those who do not. This can be said to be a positive aspect of digital communication. I hope it is clear. I've connected and I've used, you remember I said you must use statistics or evidence to back your point. We are talking about facts here. You are not bringing your opinion. Let us now move on. Continuation. Now I'm moving to the other side of the coin. I've talked about the positive aspect of digital communication. Now I have to bring in the negative aspect of digital communication. And I said that you need to link your paragraph. It's like when you're knitting. Make sure that everything is knitted together so that it makes sense to the reader. On the other hand, as you read, you now understand that I'm moving to the other side of the argument. Another cohesive device that I can use instead of on the other hand, I can use however. On the other hand, digital communication can be viewed as a curse, as it can lead to harmful medical side effects such as eye problems, insomnia, and fatigue. Again, my dear learner, I want to draw your attention that this is my topic sentence. It is what I took in our brainstorming session when we came out with points for the advantages and for the disadvantages of digital communication. Now I have to develop, now I have to bring in, this is just a skeleton, let me give the details now. Scientific research findings revealed that prolonged use of gadgets such as computers, laptops, and smartphones can lead to eye problems, insomnia, and fatigue. Now I'm backing up my topic sentence with statistics, with evidence. Scientific research? A scientific research was done, and this is what the findings revealed or showed. The illumination. I'm further developing my points here. The illumination from such devices is about twice as high when compared to normal lights, and these gadgets emit high level of blue light, which has consequences for human sleep, brain performance, and eyesight. I have nicely tied up my discussion here. In view of such findings, digital communication can be classified as a health hazard. This is the negative aspect, a disadvantage of digital communication. You know what, my dear learner? I cannot do everything here. I've been holding your hand from the introduction to the body. Now I want you, your task will be to continue the discussion in the body. You are going to be talking about the advantages of digital communication and the disadvantages. You know, I'm a good teacher. I made sure that I give you a conclusion. Remember, the cohesive devices that I keep on talking about. When we're writing a narrative composition, you cannot use these cohesive devices. It sounds awkward. You cannot, when you're telling a story, and say, first and foremost, in conclusion, we don't do this. But in a discursive composition, this is what you are supposed to include when you're writing. In conclusion, that's my linking device now when I'm about to finish. It is clear from the discussion above that digital communication is both a blessing and a curse, as it has some positive aspects as well as some negative aspects. Caution should therefore be practiced when communicating using digital means.
Thank you very much, Deli. That was a really, really interesting lesson, English language lesson. One of your students actually has a question. They want to ask this is what it reads like. I wanted to ask if a discursive composition needs evidence or facts to support claims.
It does. I did illustrate it here. Let me just go back.
Okay.
Even in my facts example, I did. In the body, when I started there, I said statistics indicate that 80% of people who use digital means to communicate get more done in 24 hours than those who do not.
Okay.
That's the evidence, that statistics that I brought in. Remember, I said you are not bringing in your own opinion here, but you are writing about factual. Whatever you write should be factual. It's unlike when you are writing a narrative composition when you can just talk about anything. But here, it must be proven to be true.
All right. Thank you very much, Daly. I hope that the learner was answered with that question. We hope to see you again next time for another English language lesson.
Yes, definitely. I'm coming back.
Thank you very much. Now, Form 3s, that was your English language lesson. Coming up next is Lerato with the Mathematics Form 3 lesson. But before we go for the infomercial, can I give you, just during the infomercial, you will do this little trivia and then Lerato will come back with the answer for you. This is it. If letters were to be numbers, meaning A would be 1 and Z would be 26 or Z, how much would Wayne Rooney be? I'll repeat that. If letters were to be numbers, which means A would be 1, Z or Z would be 26, how much would Wayne Rooney be? I'm looking forward to that answer after this infomercial. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Professor Shabang. I am an actor and a TV presenter. Coronavirus is a deadly virus, an invincible enemy killing people all over the world. We are not exempted, but together we can walk through and overcome as a nation. All we need to do is to follow the health precautions. Stay at home, stop the spread, and save lives.
In the Kingdom of Eswatini, we learn from home because of the COVID-19 pandemic, through social media platforms and television. The government provides us with subjects and teachers of grade 7, Form 3 and Form 5. Watch home study on channel 286 on DSTV or channel 02 on Ginger, or else watch live on Eswatini TV YouTube channel.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you're singing the song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Reach up, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you're singing the song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers in the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Taking care of yourself is also taking care of others. We're all in this together. Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you are about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow towards your nose and mouth. Step 3. Bless you. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow, not your hands. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Hand washing is one of the best ways to keep from getting sick and staying healthy all year long.
Welcome back, Form 3s. This is the third subject for the day. We are doing mathematics with Mr. Kenneth Nzimanze. My name is Lerato Mabilisa. Also joining me in studio are our sign language interpreters, Linda Mamba and Tobile Faguti. The topic for today is sets of numbers and number sequences. A very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Lerato.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. And you?
I'm all right. So, what would you expect the learner to have learned by the end of the lesson?
Okay. At the end of the lesson, I expect the learner to be able to define and recognize natural numbers. Define and recognize whole numbers. Define and recognize integers.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Before we started the lesson, Nogwazi Dlamini asked a question which said, if letters were to be numbers, A is equal to 1 and Z is equal to 26, how much would Wayne Rooney be? How much would Wayne Rooney be? So guys, you have not answered that question. Please answer the question. But before that, sir, please continue with your lesson.
Thank you very much, Lerato. Ooh, I was very much terrified, thinking to myself that it could be that they're expecting that question is mathematical and I would be expected to answer it. No, I can't answer that one. Straight away, let us go to what learners are expected to be able to do straight away. Right now, they are supposed to be able to work out multiples of numbers and also factors of numbers. That is our prerequisite knowledge. So this is an important topic. Why is it important? It is important because actually in mathematics, in many areas of mathematics, we find that objects or items have to be grouped. So that is why this topic is so important. Let us start with properties of whole numbers. Of course, under whole numbers, we have even numbers. What kind of numbers are even numbers? These are numbers that leave no remainder when divided by 2. For instance, if we were to divide 2, like 2 divided by 2, the answer would be a whole number, which is 1. If we were to take 4 and divide it by 2, we would get a 2, no remainder. The same applies if we were to take 20. If we were to take 20 and divide it by 2, there would be no remainder. So the numbers 2, 4 and 20 are supposed to be even numbers because of that. Now, note, dear learner, that we are not saying the list includes everything. It's not everything in the list that we have here. We have 2, 4 and 20. We could have also included maybe a 6. We are not just looking at sets of even numbers. We're just taking a few to give you an idea of what numbers we are talking about. Now we go to odd numbers. These are the opposite of what we have just talked about. These ones leave a remainder when they are divided by 2. Straight away, let us start with, for instance, 1. 1, we know that actually 2 does not divide 1. Straight away, we have a remainder. That is what we are left with. We cannot proceed any further. But if we take 3 and we divide it by 2, we know that out of the 3, we are going to get 1. 2 goes once, and then the remainder is 1. So you would have something like 1.5. So because you have that remainder, the remainder being 1, then this is an odd number. Then now let us go on. Oh, the same would apply even in the case of 7. Now let us go on to look at prime numbers. What kind of numbers are these? Well, let us talk about one prime number now. A prime number is going to be a number that has 2 factors, 1 and itself. Let us take 2 for instance. Among the factors of 2, anyway, the only factors of 2 that we have are 1 and 2 itself. These are the only factors we have of 2. If we were to list the factors of 2, we would have 1 and 2. Let us take 3 after the 2. Let's take 3. The same is the case with the 3. How many factors does it have? It has 2. 1 is always a factor, by the way, and then the next one is going to be the 3 itself. We cannot go beyond these 2. Let us take 5 now. For 5, the same is the case. So the factors are going to be 1 and 5. So 2, 3 and 5 are examples of prime numbers. The list is not exhaustive. We have not included all the prime numbers that we could come up with. And by the way, the list is endless. Okay. Now let us go on to the next slide, where we are looking at multiples of a number. What do we mean by multiples of a number? We get multiples of a number when we multiply that number by a whole number. For instance, let us take 3. We are saying the multiples of these 3 are 3, 6, and 24. How do we get a 3? Let us look at how we get a 3 to be there. If we have 3 and then we multiply that by this whole number, which is 1, what are we going to get? We are going to get 3. Now, let us take 3 and multiply it by a whole number, which is 2. What are we going to get? We are going to get this 6. Again, we take the same 3, which we are looking at here, and we multiply it by 8. We get the 24. So 3, 6, and 24 are some multiples of 3. Again, the list is not exhaustive. I've just picked these 3. Let's go on to the next slide, where we are looking at factors of a number. Now, factors of a number, these are whole numbers. These are whole numbers which divide that number, leaving no remainder. Let us look at factors of this number 100. It is possible for you to divide 100. It doesn't look like 100. What I'm trying to write here. Yes. See what happens. If we were to divide 100 by 1, we would get 100. There is no remainder there. We take the same 100, we divide it by 2. The answer is going to be 50. No remainder. The very same 100, we divide by 25. The answer is 4. No remainder. So these are 3 of the factors of 100. But because it is possible for us to list all the factors of 100, let us list them. We are going to call them set H. Not that it is always going to be set H. I'm just deciding for now that let's use H. So let us list them. 1 is always a factor, and then you are going to have 2, and then after that we will have 4, and then 5, and then 10, and then 20, and then 25. The list goes on. 25. We can also have 50, and lastly the 100 itself. And of course, that is how, let me show how the set is represented. You are supposed to have these brackets to show that it's a set. So this one shows all the factors of 100. Let's go on to the next slide, where we are going to be looking at square numbers. What are these? A square number is a product of a number multiplied by itself. How many times? Once. Now, 1 is a square number. Let us see how it is a square number. Of course, we can get a 1 by multiplying, starting off with 1 and then multiplying it by 1 once. And then what do we get? We get 1. So because of that, 1 is a square number. Let us go on to the next one. We are looking at 4. 4 is a square number because if we take 2 and multiply it by itself once, we are going to get a 4. So 4 is also a square number, just like the 1. Let's go on to the last one, the 81. So 9 times 9, that is 9 multiplied by itself once, should give us 81. So this is a square number because of that. So we could actually have something like a set of square numbers. Let us, for instance, call it, for now, we are just going to call it S. Not that it is always going to be referred to as S. So we could, for instance, get 1, and next we would have 4, and then next we are going to have 9. Why 9? Because 9 is the same as 3 times 3. After that we are going to have 16. Why? Because 16 is equal to 4 times 4, and then 25, and then we go on and on. These are supposed to be dots, and then of course we can then say, you can see a pattern that is emerging. I'm sure you can see that the next number should have been, of course, 36. Next we have cube numbers. Remember, we started off with square numbers, where we said you have a number like 1 in the case of square numbers, and we said you multiply it by itself once. But in this case, the number is multiplied by itself how many times? 2 times. So we already have our 1 there. So let us multiply it by 1 and then by 1 again. So what do we get? We get 1. So because of that, 1 is indeed a cube number. Let's look at the next one. The next one here is 8. How do we get an 8? We could get an 8 by starting off with a 2, multiplying that 2 by a 2 2 times. So we have a 2 and a 2 We started off with a 2. So now we are going to get 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So because of that, 8 is indeed a cube number. So the last cube number that we have in this list is 1000. Let me see if you can work out how this one comes about. It looks like it is supposed to be a giveaway. Indeed, you're right. It's supposed to be 10 times 10 times 10. That gives you 1000, and that shows that 1000 is a cube number. So again, we were not listing all the cube numbers. We were just reminding learners what a cube number is. Next slide. Now here comes something very interesting. These numbers that we refer to as triangular numbers. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing students at home feeling a bit uncomfortable because to them it doesn't look like there's anything triangular about these numbers. They can't see a triangle, they can't see triangular. So let us see how it becomes a triangular number. But before we do that, let me maybe do this, because I've seen it happen in many classrooms. Students are almost always able to find the next number that should be going there. And that what they normally do, they say, okay, here you add a 2 and then you add a 3, you add, and then they say, yeah, this one is going to be a, what is it, a 16? They say for this one you added a 2, add a 3, add a 4, add a 5. No, it's going to be 15. Actually, it's going to be 15. So they normally manage to do that, my students. But then how do we find the next number? Let us look at something interesting in the next slide. Let me go back again. You see 1? There is a 1, there is a 3, there is a 6, there is a 10, right? Let us go to the slide that we just moved from. So there is a 1, a 2, a, oh, sorry. These are the ones I'm interested in. A 1, we have a 1, a 3, a 6, a 10, and a 15, like I said. So how do these come about? Now, I think because you guys have been doing shapes, triangles, polygons, and whatever for a long time, you can see that these are triangular. We are not just interested in any triangle that you can come up with, by the way. We want an equilateral triangle. What is this equilateral triangle? It is a triangle with all 3 sides being of the same length. So I hope you can see that we can make one like that, another one like that, and this one, and that one. Yes. Now, I'm sure some of you are noticing that for some strange reason I'm leaving out the 1. It is because, oh, have we not seen enough of the 1s already? The 1 seems to come up anytime you are dealing with numbers. You have something of 1 popping up, except we were very lucky not to see it among prime numbers, because it is not prime. But let us do this next. Let us go to the next slide and the next one. Look at the pattern that we are getting. Think of your dots at the center there and imagine enlarging that whole thing so that it looks something like that. You enlarge it so that it looks something like that. Put these close together like that, and straight away you can see these vertices. What do they give you? They give you something of a triangle, and this triangle is an equilateral triangle. That's what we are seeing here. Now, let us go to the next slide. I want to show that even the next slide is giving you the same thing. You can see the equilateral triangle there. By the way, when we say it's an equilateral triangle, we mean that all these angles are 60 degrees. Remember, the reason why we are doing this is because we are thinking about one. Now we go back. Let's go back until we come here now. Look at these. Let's call it a huge dot. This dot. Can we not put an equilateral triangle around it? Indeed we can. So because of that, even one is a triangular number. Thank you. So let us proceed. Now we are looking at sets of numbers. What are we talking about here? We are talking about a collection of numbers with similar characteristics. If it is a set, it means we are talking about items or objects which should have some common similar characteristics. They should have some things in common. Usually sets of numbers form patterns. You have already seen some of the patterns that we can come up with in mathematics. So sets of numbers. Let's go on to the next slide where we are looking at this one now. This is our set. Look at that set. It already looks familiar. The numbers do have something in common. What might that be? That set should already look familiar to you. Remember, at one point we talked about square numbers. So this one would be a set of square numbers from 1 upwards, as you can see. I have used these dots here, which you are very much familiar with, to show that actually this set could go on and on and on. So it is an uncountable set. It continues all the way to wherever you want to go. Okay, so next we want to look at natural numbers. Natural numbers are also called counting numbers. Natural numbers are also called counting numbers. Of course, I've been around for a bit, and every time I hear people counting, they start at 1 and then they go to 2 and then they go to, it looks like that's natural. So we call these natural numbers, the counting numbers. Remember what I've said about the 3 dots. The 3 dots show you that we are dealing with an uncountable set, which means you could go on and on and on and still not manage to reach the end of the set. So we call that, we say of that set that it is infinite. Infinite also means it is not countable. The opposite now of infinite is finite. It's not finite. It's finite now. So what does it mean? It means this one is countable. So for instance, if we are dealing with factors of 10, we know that we have listed all of them here. So this one is a finite set, and yet if we look at this one is an infinite set. It could go on and on. Thank you. Next, we are looking at whole numbers. Remember, the previous slide, we were looking at natural numbers. Now we are looking at whole numbers. To many people, these will look like they are still more like the same as what we were looking at on the other slide, but they are not. obviously you can see that we already have something, a bit of a giveaway, that this one is not going to be like the last one. The last one was just n. Of course, sometimes we write it like that, and n like that. So it was like this, but that's not what we are looking at now. We are looking at this one, which is now n naught. So that looks like a bit of a giveaway, because if you were to look at the set from here all the way up, it would look similar to the set that we were looking at, the n. But now, see what has happened. We now have to start at 0. If we start at 0, what do we now have? We have what we call the set of whole numbers, as opposed to the set of natural numbers. So, how much of a difference is there between natural numbers and whole numbers? Whole numbers actually include the 0 there. Then it makes it different from what you started off with, which was like that. So these now are whole numbers, as opposed to natural numbers or counting numbers. So let us look at the relationship between our counting numbers and our we were looking at the relationship between whole numbers and these whole numbers. The first one we said is counting numbers. Now we have whole numbers. So the relationship is like this. How do we read that? We say n is a subset of n naught. What does it mean? It means that every element of n is also an element. Every element of n is also an element of n naught. So that is what we are saying. And this relationship could also be represented in that fashion, so that with our Venn diagrams we would have the whole of n inside n naught. What do I have now? Now we are looking at we are looking at integers. Remember, we started with natural numbers, we went on to look at whole numbers, and then now we are looking at integers. So let us look at how they've been represented here, the integers. So this is how they've been represented. Look at what has happened. We can see something of, what are we seeing here? It looks like our natural numbers. If we start here, then this whole thing now is going to look like we have our whole numbers, but then we have also this direction now. In that direction, we have now included negative numbers. So integers are such that actually you have in them the whole of the whole numbers, all the whole numbers, plus their negatives, as you can see here. So this set is, how is it? From what we have already said, as you can see, continues in this direction and in that direction. That's what those dots represent. So the relationship one last time. Remember, we already had this one. Remember this one, n and n naught. Now we see that actually z is bigger than the two of them together, so we can put these other two inside Z so that it looks like that. Now, having done that, let us see if we could use the following question to remind ourselves of what we have covered. The question says, you are given the following numbers, as you can see them. These are your numbers. From those numbers, we want to pick natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. Let us start with A, the natural numbers. By definition, what exactly are natural numbers? We said those are supposed to be your counting numbers. For those of you who can count, and I hope all of you can count, 23 is a counting number. You can count up to 23. You can count up to 4. And you can also have 246 when counting. Remember, you don't start at 0 when you are counting in this case. So your natural numbers would be in order 4, 23, and 246. By the way, the order does not matter. It is just that we like it when we do it like that as organized maths people. So we like it better when it looks like that. Remember, I was not giving you a set. I was just giving you the numbers in question. Now, whole numbers. Whole numbers, we said, consist of the counting numbers as well as 0. So we would only need to add the 0, so that now we would have 0, 4, 23, and 246. And then integers. Now, when it comes to integers, we would take, this is what would happen. Picking integers, these are the only ones that would not qualify because they are not integers. So we could maybe start at negative 17. We can start at negative 17, follow it up with negative 3, then we go on to 0, and then we will have 4, 17, 4, 17, and finally 246. I hope I did not leave anything out. So, learner at home, this is what you are supposed to remember. Now, in concluding, this is what I have put together for you. This is what we were looking at. And remember, we said you start off with your counting numbers. If you put a 0 there, you end up getting your whole numbers. That is where we are now. And then when you include the negative ones, then you have your integers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nzimanze. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you to the viewer for watching. Up next is my colleague Nogwazi Dlamini, who is going to be presenting the next from 5 subjects.
Kumelula ukuthi ligciwane lecorona lisuke kulomunye lingene kulomunye uma sitawusonzelana. Singasita sinciphise kwanza kwalo ngekuthi sikhweshelane. Lokhu kusho ukuthi singachawulani, singathinzani njengokuhagana nje. Tikhweshise ngesigaba lesiyimitha kusuka kulabanye. Kumcoka kakhulu kuhlala uhlobile nekuthi hlobisa uma uke waphumela kubantu. Ngekubambisana sitakumisa kwanza kwaleli gciwane sibe ngulabaphilile. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing the song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers in the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Taking care of yourself is also taking care of others. We're all in this together. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Hand washing is one of the best ways to keep from getting sick and staying healthy all year long.
In the Kingdom of Eswatini, we learn from home because of the COVID-19 pandemic, through social media platforms and television. The government provides us with subjects and teachers of grade 7, Form 3 and Form 5. Watch home study on channel 286 on DSTV or channel 02 on Ginger, or else watch live on Eswatini TV YouTube channel.
A very good afternoon to our viewers and a very warm welcome. You are still tuned into Eswatini TV and this is Home Study. My name is Dlamini and right now we are doing English language for the Form 5s, and already in the studio with me is the English language teacher for the Form 5s, Bonisiwe Ndwandwe. Also joining me in the studio are our sign language interpreters, Zanele Mota and Nombumelelo Hadebe. Bonisiwe, how are you doing this afternoon?
Okay, Nogwazi, how are you?
I'm really, really good. Thank you very much. I understand that today we're doing listening comprehension.
Yes, of course.
A very, very interesting and a very important topic in the English language. What are you expecting your learners to have learned by the end of this lesson?
Okay, by the end of the lesson, I expect the learners to note how to listen well and to also note the impediments to listening and, of course, how to overcome them.
Okay, Form 5s, I hope that you are ready for your lesson. And just to remind you, we are live on YouTube and on Facebook, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us on our WhatsApp number. Please text us the questions that you might have for this lesson specifically. Bonisiwe, you can begin your lesson.
Okay, thank you so much, Nogwazi, and welcome, my dear learner, to our lesson for today, which is listening. Okay, my dear learner, today, as I've already highlighted, we are going to focus on the tips on listening well. How do you listen well? So first on my list here is that you are expected to listen consciously, not only with your ears, but also with your mind. What do I mean by that? I mean that you need to reason things as you listen. So, my dear learner, this goes beyond just hearing the words, but you need to make sense of the words that you are hearing from the interview, the advert, monologue, whatsoever. So make sure that you apply some sense, some logic in your listening as well. And number 2, you are encouraged to focus. That means you pay attention and concentrate on what you are hearing at that particular point in time. So, my dear learner, when you are given such a task to do, you are advised to forget about everything else and focus on the task at hand, which means you are going to forget about what your friends are doing in the maybe examination room, or maybe focusing on what the invigilators are doing, but channel your focus to the listening exercise, because we know that there are a lot of things that may steal your attention from the listening task. So that is why I am emphasizing that you shut everything down that may disturb your listening. That is if you are going to do well in your listening exercise. Then number 3, you are reminded that you listen, or that you know what you listen for. That is, listen for specific information. Actually, this is what the paper entirely focuses on. You listen for specific information. So that means you listen with a purpose, which is obviously, I believe, that is the reason you are given the questions first. If you will remember very well, you are first given the questions to go through before the listening clip is actually run for you. So now that makes you to listen for specific information, because you would have read the questions first. So now when you listen, you know exactly what it is that you are expected to pick from that interview, that advert, whatever the case might be. So please ensure that you read the questions first, so that you may listen for specific information. Then the other one, you are advised to identify various cues that help make meaning clearer. For example, there are going to be pauses in the listening exercise. There are going to be some silences. There are going to be or there's going to be a tone or some breathing. So there are these things that are unsaid, but which you need to hear, or which you need to identify and listen to. For example, we are talking about an exclamation. There is no way in the text or in the listening clip where they are going to tell you that this is an exclamation, but you need to hear it even though it is not said, but you need to develop that attentive ear or sensitive ear, so that you may be able to identify such cues. Same as a pause. They're not going to tell you that now I am pausing, but you are going to tell by the breathing or by the silence from the speaker that now the speaker is pausing. So you must be able to read that as well. If I may make an example, my dear learner, somebody expresses, "Wow, Mom, you have bought me an iPhone for my birthday?" There is an exclamation there. And the question will come then, why is Sihle excited? Let us say it was Sihle who was making that exclamation. There is nowhere in the clip which said that she was excited, but we can tell by the tone of the voice that this person was making an exclamation. okay, and an exclamation to show that she, of course, is excited that she was bought an iPhone for a birthday. So these are the things that you need to be on the lookout for as you listen, my dear learner. Okay, and maybe before we can go into the contributing factors to poor performance, or rather the do's and don'ts in the listening paper, may I remind you, my dear learner, that when you are given such a task, please ensure that you use a pen. Many a times, students are tempted to use a pencil with the hope, of course, of overwriting that pencil with a pen. But in this exercise, you don't usually have the time to overwrite the pencil with the pen. Okay, so ensure that you use the pen all the time. In fact, don't even bring the pencil to the examination room because you are likely to get tempted. Okay, because remember once again that with this exercise, the listening goes concurrently, or rather simultaneously, as the writing. So now, once the CD stops playing, it means you should be done with the writing as well, because these two happen concurrently. So I am afraid, therefore, that you might not have the time to overwrite the pencil with your pen as you do your work. Then now, my dear learner, let us go to the do's and don'ts in the listening paper. What is it that you are expected to do? Well, I have this first on my list, the pre-test reading session, which is very important. I don't know how I can overemphasize that, because you find that most of the time, my viewers at home, you usually ignore this session, yet it is very important. I will call it the pre-test session. What is this pre-test session? This is basically the few minutes or moments when you are given the time to read the questions prior the listening clip that you are given. So now you are advised to use this time effectively to familiarize yourself with the context, my dear learner, as you read through the questions. This is going to give you an idea. Familiarize yourself with the context that you are going to be listening to through the reading of the questions prior the listening exercise, of course. Then, why is this important? Why is the pre-test reading session important? Let us respond to that one. Okay, the pre-test session is important, my dear learner, because it helps you to anticipate what you are going to listen to. What do I mean by anticipate? Anticipate in this aspect, of course, means that you expect, you guess, you expect what is it that you are going to be listening to. For example, if the text is going to be about hospitals, my dear learner, of course you can anticipate hearing about doctors, you can anticipate hearing about patients, about medicine, about casualties, nurses, injuries, etc. You anticipate. So what does this pre-test session do for you? It prepares you for what you are going to listen to. It makes you to anticipate, to guess. Of course, my dear learner, it is not going to be everything that you anticipate that you are going to hear, but of course it helps you to balance things up, because more often than not you are going to find that what you have anticipated actually does come out. So it prepares you in a way to such an extent that before the CD is run for that specific exercise, you already have a clue or a hint of what the conversation, the interview, the advert, or whatsoever will be about. So I will emphasize once again, my dear learner, do not ignore this pre-test reading session because it prepares you for what is going to come. Remember, you are listening for specific information, which means before you can listen, you need to know what is it that you are expected to listen for. And you get that through reading the questions. That is the pre-reading session. Then, my dear learner, still on the do's and don'ts, let me emphasize on question analysis. Okay, we have been dealing with that in our reading and question paper, and it also applies in this exercise as well. Question analysis, where you try to unpack the question, where you try to make sense of the question, because we have always been saying that in order for you to be able to respond properly to the question, of course, you must understand the task at hand. What is it that the question requires from you? Okay, the question analysis for this paper is basically going to be focusing on exercise 1, that is question 1 to 5, exercise 4 and 5, because I'm well aware that by this time you know that exercise 2 and 3, that is actually gap filling. So you are not going to be doing any question analysis there. You just need to check the gaps and the items of the aspects of that exercise. But with question 1, question 4, and exercise 5, of course, you need to go through the question analysis. So, my dear learner, in the question analysis, of course, you will know that underlining keywords is going to be very important. So, underline keywords. And this will begin from the WH words and how questions, because they are also key, my dear learner. So now, in the question analysis, let me focus on exercise 1 for now, because I am sure if we do justice in the question analysis, there is no reason for us to get less than the total, especially in this exercise. You must get the total marks, my dear learner. So, for exercise 1, my dear learner, in the question analysis, which we have just highlighted, there is also this one thing that I want you to note. This what we refer to as distractors. What is a distractor? Maybe one may be asking himself or herself. A distractor is the information that you are given, which appears to be an answer, yet it is not the required response. And you are given the distractor along with the correct response that is expected of you. So now I want us together, my dear learner, to note these distractors. I said we are going to focus on exercise 1 for now. We'll go to exercise 4 and exercise 5 in due time. So now with this one, I want us to locate where the distractor might come from when we read the question. Remember, it is the reading of the question first, and with exercise 1, it is above that, above reading and underlining the keywords. We also need to note where the distractor is going to come from. And the distractors, my dear learner, are always going to be there. I can assure you of that. In exercise 1, the distractors are always going to be there. And there's no harm about it, because as a learner, you know what is expected of you. These distractors are only there to check your focus. How focused are you in the task at hand? So I want us to quickly run through these questions so that we may try to do the analysis as well as try to locate where the distractors are likely to come from. And once you do that, my dear learner, I can assure you that you are going to have a smooth sail in the responding of these questions for exercise 1. Okay, question number 1. How old, I hope you can see from your screen there, how old, we are saying we are underlining keywords. Okay, let me just go through the question. How old was Benny McCarthy when he started playing soccer? That is our question. So now we are underlining the keyword. First, it is how old. So this gives us the idea that what is demanded of us is an age. Okay, how old was Benny McCarthy when he started playing soccer? I like this. When he started playing soccer. My dear Lena, I usually advise that after you have been asked a question, try to ask a question yourself on top of the question that we have been asked. Remember, we are trying to spot where the distractor is going to come from, where they are trying to divert our focus from the task at hand. So now we are looking for an age of Benny McCarthy when he started playing soccer. We underline that as well. So you ask yourself a question, why are they saying when he started playing soccer? Why? Ask yourself that question. And it is probably where the distractor is going to come from. Because when I take a look at the question myself, this tells me that they are not going to give me only one age, but they are going to give me more than one. So this is, they are looking for an age where he started playing soccer. Those who are soccer fans will know that we have First Division, we have Premier League, we have Super League. Okay, so now all those different ages or stages, they might give you the ages of his playing career. But now this is not what we are looking for. We are not looking at the First Division or the Premier League or whatever, but we are looking for the age when he started playing soccer. And we are going to find that in the listening clip, of course, they are going to give you these different ages of the different stages of his playing career or history. But your focus, my dear learner, would be when he started playing soccer. And that is the age that you should be looking for. Don't mind about the other ages. The age that you are looking for yourself is when he started playing soccer. That is where the distractor is going to come from. I hope it is going to get clearer as we move on with the questions. Question number 2. How old is Sarah now? And this question, we are underlining the keywords. The keyword here, we are looking at how old. So fortunately, this one again is looking for an age. How old is Sarah now? I said on top of the question that we have been asked, ask a question yourself. Now they are saying now. Why now? Why are they saying now? It means if there is a now, there is a then. Okay? So now obviously means currently. How old is Sarah currently? This should tell you quickly, it should quickly register in your mind that they are going to give you a age at another instance, probably in the past or previously. If they say now, then it means there is a catch somewhere here. Why are they saying now? It means even in this instance, they are not going to give you only one age, but they are going to give you more than one. But what you are looking at here is the age currently. May I ask you, Nogwazi, to help me with this one? Unfortunately, I don't have an audio because of the time that we have here, but may I just ask Nogwazi to help me with a bit of a scenario for this question that I have just read for you?
Not a problem at all. Sarah was exhilarated when her parents gave her a car for her 21st birthday, which was 3 years ago.
Okay. I hope you all got that. Thank you so much, Novazi, for that beautiful reading. I hope you caught that, my dear Lena. So now the question is, how old is Sarah now? I wonder if Novazi can help us out with the answer here on behalf of you, my dear Lena at home. I know you have confidence in her, right?
She's 24.
She's 24?
She's 24, 23, 24.
Is she right? Is she right? I thought I had a 21st, which means it's 21 years, and you are telling me 24?
Yes.
How did you get to that?
She was 21 3 years ago, which was then. And the question is, how old is she now?
Okay.
So she's 24.
You are smart. Okay. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Nowazi. I'll have to buy you a drink for that one.
Yes, please.
Precise. Okay, so now the scenario, my dear Lena, was Sarah was exhilarated when her parents bought her a car on her 21st birthday, which was 3 years ago. I am afraid this question goes beyond one having just to select the response, but you also need to infer your answer. We discussed that at length again in our reading and writing exercise, where we said when you infer, you draw your own conclusion. You try to deduce the meaning from the text. So this is what happened here, which will bring me again to the tip where I have said you listen not only with your ears, but you listen with your mind as well. So this question here, as Nowazi has responded precisely to it, just needed you to do a bit of some arithmetic. And you don't need to be mathematically inclined to get the correct response for this answer. Because the scenario says she was 21 years. Most of us are tempted to just write the first age that we hear, yet there is this last phrase of the scenario which said which was 3 years ago, which means currently to get the current age we need to add the 3 to the 21 to get the correct answer, which is 24. And I'm afraid, my dear Lena, you might find yourself coming across such a question even in your examination. So you must be ready to tackle such questions as well, which means you need to focus, shut down any other distraction, and focus on the task at hand when you do this listening exercise. Let us move on to the other question, because I want us to get this thing clear so that we try and scoop almost all the marks in this exercise. So question number C, it says, what did the second doctor okay, what did the second doctor, I am underlining second doctor, say was Linda's problem? So in this instance, when we take a closer look at the question, we are looking for Linda's problem. But it is not just Linda's problem, but associated with what the second doctor has said. So we said earlier on, we need to locate where the distractor is going to come from. That is, ask yourself a question on top of the question that you have been asked. Okay, so now we are definite that we want to locate Linda's problem, but based on what the second doctor has said. So now you ask yourself, why are they saying the second doctor? Because even when we are counting, we do not start counting from 2. We are just having our maths in our previous lesson. We don't start counting from 2, but we start counting from 1. Now, why are they saying second doctor instead of maybe the first doctor? Then it should quickly register in your mind the minute you take a look at this question that they are going to give you a distractor. That is, they are going to give you information that is not from the second doctor, probably from the first doctor, which means here Linda consulted a doctor for his ailment. Then for whatever reason, he was not satisfied by the diagnosis and he decided to go for a second opinion from the second doctor. So now what you are going to hear from the listening clip is his ailment from the first doctor. And please, my dear learner, don't be tempted to quickly rush into picking any ailment that you hear. Okay, they're going to give you an ailment from the first doctor and the ailment from the second doctor. But your focus here, the question demands that you give the ailment as per the second doctor's diagnosis. So please mind that. Always remember that. Ask yourself that question every time you are given such a task. Try to locate where the distractor is actually going to come from, and that will make your writing smooth sail in this exercise. Okay, then we go to the next one. Give two things. We underline this. We'll explain why it is important as well. Give two things that Alex never, you underline that. This is question analysis before the CD is actually run for you for the listening aspect. And on holiday without. These are our key elements. We are analyzing the question, and on top of that, we are trying to locate where the distractor is going to come from, where they are trying to steal our attention or to shift our attention from the information that we are supposed to pick. So it is two things that Alex never goes on holiday without. So what does this mean? This means that, my dear learner, they are going to give you information, or they are going to give you things that Alex goes on holiday with. Maybe they make mention of a camera, they make mention of a cell phone, of a laptop, or maybe a cologne. 4 things. He takes these things with him on holiday. But then we are not looking for that. Our focus is on the things that he never goes on holiday without. And that is when they are probably going to make mention of his laptop as well as his cell phone. He might take all the 4 things that they have mentioned, but then there are these 2 things that he would rather cancel the trip if he had not carried or if he had forgotten those things. So you should be on the lookout for that. Why are they saying that? And this next one, how much does a child's ticket cost? How much does a child's ticket cost? Now, how much, of course, suggests that we are looking for a price or a cost. Okay? So now, if there is a child's ticket here, you're asking yourself a question. Why are they saying a child's ticket? That should quickly register in your mind that if there's a child's ticket, then there must be an adult ticket. Okay, so you note all these things as you do the question analysis, and they are going to give you both prices. Okay, that an adult price is probably 50 emalangeni and a child's ticket is 15 emalangeni. So don't just take any price that you are given for that response. That is the importance of question analysis. I am afraid, my dear learner, we'll have to stop here. We shall, of course, continue in our next lesson to the rest of the exercises. Good day.
Yes, thank you very much, Bonisiwe. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We hope that we'll be able to finish your lesson on the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you. From 5s, please do not go anywhere. I will be right back with the Siswati teacher, Nombumelelo Shabang. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Kumelula ukuthi ligciwane lecorona lisuke kulomunye lingene kulomunye uma sitawusonzelana. Singasita sinciphise kuanza kwalo ngekuthi sikhweshelane. Lokhu kusho ukuthi singachawulani, singathinzani njengokuhagana nje. Tikhweshise ngesigaba lesimitha kusuka kulabanye. Kumcoka kakhulu kuhlala uhlobile nekuthi hlobisa uma uke waphumela kubantu. Ngekubambisana sitakumisa kwanza kwaleli gciwane sibe ngulabaphilile. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Hand washing is one of the best ways to keep from getting sick and staying healthy all year long.
In the Kingdom of Eswatini, we learn from home because of the COVID-19 pandemic, through social media platforms and television. The government provides us with subjects and teachers of grade 7, Form 3 and Form 5. Watch home study on channel 286 on DSTV or channel 02 on Ginger, or else watch live on Eswatini TV YouTube channel.
Asikwemukele mbukeli ehlelweni i-home study kanti lo sembi kwakho nguye Nokwazi Dlamini. Kulesi sikhathi samanje sitawufunza Siswati selibanga le-11 kanti sovele sowukhona thishela waso Siswati Nombumelelo Shabangu. Nombumelelo unjani namuhla?
Ngiyaphila Nokwazi, ngingavusela wena.
Ngiyaphila nami kakhulu. Namuhla sitawufunza ngencwadi yemsebenzi.
Yebo Nokwazi.
Ubheke ukuthi umfunzi wakho abe afunzeni ekupheleni kwalesifundo.
Shothi lapha nje lobumcuka sicale ngalobumcuka balesifundo Nokwazi ukuthi sifuna ke kucecesha ke likhono lemfunzi lekuthi ke akwadi ukubhala inhlobo etincwadi. Akususela itimeni letihlukahlukene lakade awudibana nato ekuhambeni ke kwendlela asakhula angumvana.
Okay.
Bese ke sithi ke ekupheleni kwesifundo ke sikade ukuthi ke umfunzi akwadi ke chaza ukuthi ngabe yini incwadi ke yemsebenzi. Bese ke lokunye Nokwazi sikade ke ukuthi umfunzi akwadi ke kunika timbawu tencwadi ke yemsebenzi. Bese ke sikade ukuthi ke ekupheleni kwesifundo umfunzi akwadi ke kusebenzisa ke lulwimi netimbawu tekubhala ke ngendlela lefanele. Bese ke ekugcineni kwako konke sibheke ke sigadzile ukuthi ke umfunzi ekhaya akwadi phela ke kubhala lencwadi ibeke nekuxhumana nekubumbana.
Okay, siyabonga kakhulu Nompumelelo, ngicabanga ukuthi ungaqala nesifundo sakho.
Ngiyabonga ke nokwazi ke ekhaya lapha ke lapha emsakatweni. Mfunzi ke ekhaya njengoba sengichazile ukuthi sifuna lapha ke kucecesha ke likhono lakho ke lekubhala ke incwadi yemsebenzi. Ake sesicale ke sibuke ukuthi yini yona lencwadi yemsebenzi mfunzi. Incwadi ke yemsebenzi ke sithi ke luhlobo ke lencwadi lebhalelwa ke umuntu longakahlobani naye. Futhi ke lode ke budlelwane bebungani naye mfunzi. Bese ke lesitakunaka ke sisayifunza ke sisayibuka ke lencwadi yemsebenzi kuthi ke lulwimi lolusentshenziswa la lukhomba ke inhlonipho futhi alukhombisi kutayelana kulona lobhalako nalona lobhalelwako ngalokuthi vele labantu laba abakahlobani. Sithi ke incwadi yemsebenzi ingabhalelwa bobani mfunzi ke ekhaya. Ungambhalela ke umphathi sikolwa sitatibuka ke timo etahlukahlukene noma nje singeke sibuke ke namuhla leyo ncwadi leqondiswe kumphathi sikolwa kepha ke ngekhamba kwemalanga sisaqhubekane ukufunza sitasibona ke sibonelo sencwadi lesiqondisa kumphathi sikolwa. Ungambhalela ke umcondzisi ngapani, ungawabhalela ke emaphoyisa, ungambhalela nathishela wakho. Futhi ke baningi labanye lokungababhalela ke mfunzi ekhaya asobacabange ke wena labanye bandvu lode budlelwane bebungani nabo longake ubabhalele ke loluhlobo lolu lencwadi. Incwadi ke yemsebenzi ke mfunzi kumqoka ke ukuthi sathi ukuthi imiswa kanjani. Uma nje uthinhla uyithola lena ncwadi udawuthi na uyibuka kunetinvo lekufuneke nje tikutshele usayibuka nje kuitelo kutakutshela kusilolu ke ngilolu hlobo lwencwadi lesithi ke yemsebenzi. Incwadi ke yemsebenzi ke inanadimbawu. Iba nelikheli lekuqala lesithi likheli lakho, ibe nelikheli lesibili lalona lobhalelwa lencwadi. Bese ke incwadi iba nesibingelelo kuthi ke iqondiswe kubani, ibe nesihlokwana, itaba nesingeniso, ibe nemtimba, umtimba ke lo wakhiwa ke tinzima. Bese ke incwadi yethu iba nesiphetho. Ekugcineni seyiba ke nesivaleliso. Ngifuna ke mfunzi ngoba ke sinenhlanhla sibuka kumabona kude siyibuke lencwadi ukuthi imiswe njani letimpawu sitikhulumise sibe sitibuka. Nayi ke lencwadi ngisiteke mfunzi incwadi yethu ke iba nelikheli ke lekuqala lelingasekudla sithi ke likheli lakho leli mfunzi. Naku ke lokumqoka ke mfunzi uma sisabuka ke lelikheli. Likheli lakho mfunzi alikhombise phela indzawo kuthi wena ubhala lencwadi nje ukamanzini kuphi namanzini ngoba phela amanzini mkhulu dinengi tindzawo letahlukahlukene. Nasi sibonelo sami lapha lengisebenzisile mfunzi lona usebenzise ke ligama ke lesikolwa. Lesinye isikhathi ke ematinqwathi sitikhokha ke etindzaweni letahlukahlukene. Labanye tincwadi batikhokha ke etitolo ungakhanza nje lomnyabhalo ukuthi emfundweni grocery store kuye ngekuthi liposi lalendzaweni yangakibo ulithola kuphi. Bese ke sekuba ke nale nombolo yelibhokisi mfunzi kuthi lena eposini usina uyothola lencwadi noma na ubhala incwadi ukhipha kuliphi libhokisi. Le ngifuna ke ukugcizelela lapha mfunzi ngunati timpawu tekubhala. Asibafake phala bongci lapha njengoba ubona mfunzi kuthi ngu p.po safaka ngci. Lokho ekusho ukuthi kumele emagama lamabili lawa pheceleti esingisi post office. Asikuvumi ke mfunzi ukuthi sowungabhala wena uthi bo ungabafaki labo ngci laba akusasiko lelokufanele. Bese ke uyayibhala ke igama ke lelidolobha njengoba ubona mfunzi uchubeke ke bese ushiya umuqa lapha ngicanga ukuthi kuyakhanya mfunzi ekhaya. Bese sowubhala ke lusuku kumqoka ke mfunzi ukuthi le tinyanga phela mfunzi tati tinikete isikhathi ukuthi utifundzise ekhaya ukuthi tinyanga teSiswati tibhalwa tithini tihluphe ungakhanzi nje sobhale 15 April lapha kanti wena kufanele ngabe ubhala ngeSiswati lesinye isiphosiso lesisendako ke emfundzi ekhaya kuthi wena uyati ukuthi tinyanga esikhatsini lesinengi magama etilwane noma tinvo temvelo eSwatini sesikhanza sobhale 15 Bhubesi noma 15 Bhejane cha ke mfundzi kude ke tinyanga letinjalo asawutinikete isikhathi ke mfundzi nakuphela lesifundvo lesi uke uyotikhumbuta phela emagama etinyanga likheli lelilandzelako ke mfundzi ke sithite likheli lalona lombhalelako lapha ke mfundzi sishiyeke umuca ngicela kugcizelela lokuthi liqonzise phela lelikheli leli ungaqali njengalapha ngisebenzisa isibonelo sakaSwaga ukuthi kubhalelwa ke inhlangano yakaSwaga wena ke ungabe sowucala kulo Swaga na ubhala qala phela ngekuthi uqonzise kusileka Swaga kuyinhlangano lenkulu lengaka ubhalela bani kaSwaga kune mahovisi lahlukahlukene kunabo mabhalane kunebaqeqeshi kuna nabo bonke labahlukahlukene qonzisa ke wena kusi le yakho incwadi iyakubani ngoba wangayiqonzisi incwadi ke mfundzi bese iyalahleka ayisafiki lapho kufanele ifike khona angeke ke ngiphindze ke ngikhulume kakhulu ngenza bayelibhokisi ngoba sesiyithintsile la ngenhla so uyayibhala futhi ligama lelidolopha asisaliphindzi ke lisuku umfundzi ngoba selivelile lapha ngenhla kutaba ngazi ukuthi siyaphinza ushiya umuca ke mfundzi uma ke sowubhala ikheli lesibili bese ke sowubhala ke sibingelelo nasi ke sibingelelo sethu sithi mnumzane ngosikade lapha ke lokhu ngibafake bobabili laba bekunene kukhombisa ke ngoba sengishilo ngale kucaleni ukuthi lo muntu lombhalelayo awumati anisibo bangani anikahlobani futhi lenhlangano yakaSwaga wena ungumfundzi lapha ekhaya awati nekuthi lona loyiholako lomqonziswayo ngumake noma ngibabe kungako ke bese sesikufaka kokubili sitawuthi mfundzi nase sichubeka netifundvo tethu sesibuka ukuthi nangabe ubhala incwadi yemsebenzi ngiyabekisa incezo sobhalela thishela lo sesikolweni noma thisha lomkhulu khona ke sibingelo la kusakhona sitawehluka ngoba usuke umati bubulili bakhe ushiya ke umuca naso ubhale sibingelelo mfundzi bese ke sewubhala ke nasi ke sihlokwana sethu ke siba ngilengcikithi yale ncwadi lena ke kule kaSwaga ngoba sibekuse ngaSwaga la dinengi letingoni letikhona lapha lo mqonzisi inhlangano uyayithola etincwadi letiphathelene engcenye netimali takuleta lenhlangano atholeke tincwadi letiphathelene nabantu abasebenza la kule nhlangano uaphinze ke atholeke tincwadi umqonzisi talaba labahlukubedekile yena ke nasekasibona ke lesihlokwana sakho utabe sowuyati ukuthi ha nemambala lencwadi lena kufanele ngibhekise kuluphi ke luhlangothi sihlokwana sethu ke lesiba sifishane uyasidvebela mina ke ngisebenzise ke tinhlavu temagama lamancane uma ngabe wena ukhethe kusebenzisa bofeleba ngete usasidvebela ke lesihloko sakho siyaqhubeka ke mfundzi sesibuka ke singeniso sethu ke sesishaya lapha kule sihloko sesiyanaba la sihlokweni ukuthi engabe lona wekunene lobhalako yini sizathu sekuthi abhale ke lencwadi yakhe sitawufunza nje kafisha la uthi ngibhala lencwadi ngifuna kubika ngempatho lengasiyo lemnanzi lengiphila kuyo esandleni samalumekati lapha ekhaya kamalume ngibuye ngicele lusito naku ke lokuvela la kulesingeniso sethu kuthi ke lona lobhalako sizathu sekuthabhale lencwadi yakhe sisithola lapha kulesingeniso ubika ngekuphatheka kabi kamalumekati wakhe bese ke uphinze ke ucela lusito singeniso sakho siba sifisha sithinze ke esihlokweni ngicela unake ke mfundzi ukuthi kulesingeniso sethu phela asivuseli sithelo nawe kunele lombhalelako awumati anisibo bangani anikahlobani zange sodibane naye ngisho ejuteni uyamqala nje la ngeke bese sombuta ke impilo ukuthi injani ushiya umuca ke mfundzi bese ke sowungena ke enzimeni ngifuna ke kuthi nje fahla ngenzaba yetinzima umfundzi ke ekhaya angakade ibute ukuthi sengibhalile tindzaba letahlukahlukene encindzaba lecocwako indzaba mbikiswano njalo njalo lapha ke kule ncwadi tinzima takhona ngabe ngitawutimisa kanjani wena ke mfundzi indlalo tawutisita ngayo ukuthi uhlele tinzima takho ukuthi ubuyelele kulesingeniso sakho kulesingeniso sakho uthite uyabika ngembatho lengasiyo kahle lengasiyo lemnanzi waphinze wathi ke ucela ke lusito lokusho ukuthi wena tinzima takho